Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MKB Leadership Show. I'm your host, Katrina Burrus, and this show has been done in conjunction with Dukascopy TV. Today, I'm going to talk to you about toxic leaders. How you define them, what behaviors they have, and what costs they have to the companies. So toxic leaders destroy companies. Who are they, and what do they do? So the Gallup study shows us that people go to a company because they're attracted to the company, but they leave the company because of a toxic manager or leader. And so how do you define a toxic leader? A toxic leader has a responsibility over people, like any leader. However, they abuse the leader-follower relationship. You can have toxic momentarily in a specific situation. The difference with a toxic leader, it's done over time and it uses people over time. And of course, it leaves the individual, the team, the organization in a worse off situation. So what are the typical behaviors of a toxic manager? We see here that they micromanage. They might give you a job in a week, but then they come that afternoon asking you where you're at. And the next day, and the next day. At the end, the person is stressed, feels micromanaged, feels controlled. And to give another example, threatens. How do you threaten somebody in a company? How do they die, in fact? Well, when you insinuate that they will be fired, that's death in the corporation. And as you see here, insults, minimizing the person's work, all these are toxic behaviors. So what impact do toxic managers have on organization? So let's look. On the individual, there's stress related. There's health issues of individuals. Could be burnout. And worse still is that no successor is being developed and groomed to take over. So these are the risks. And also, of course, it reduces confidence in people. I know somebody that was a brilliant speaker, but at the end he started stuttering. So what's the cost on the team? They start emulating the toxic manager. Why? Because he's succeeded, so they think maybe that behavior is the way to success. They also reduce morales of team, reduce creativities. Why? Because if you give a good idea, and the boss might criticize it, why should you share? So a lot of creativity is reduced. And of course, there can be passive resistance. People start working against the leader in a subversive way. So what is the cost to companies? Cost to companies are absenteeism, excess turnover, there is stress-related health issues, and also people might leave, or it gets to the reputation of the company that decreases, because why would you go to a company where you know there's a lot of toxic leadership? Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for viewing this MKB Leadership Show that has been done in conjunction with Dukascopy TV. Stay tuned for future episodes of Toxic Leadership. Thank you.